So the question was, Yeimar, congratulations on the win today. This is your second goal on the season. How do you feel about the fact that you are able to help the team not only by defending but also by scoring goals tonight? The answer was, I'm always happy to be able to support the team and help on the team. And if I score a goal, it's even better. But my main role is to play on defense and be sure that I'm playing that well. And today we have a rounded game by actually getting the win. So I'm very happy about that.
Y Yeimar, hoy no se le permitió un solo tiro claro al arco a Real Salt Lake. ¿Qué crees que se hizo bien para impedir que Real Salt Lake tuviera esa posibilidad?
Yeimar, today there was not a single shot on goal allowed to Real Salt Lake. So what do you think was the thing that made that happen and how you were able to achieve that?
Bueno, yo creo que el equipo estuvo muy atento en la línea ofensiva y también en la línea del medio. Creo que eso es fundamental para el equipo, que no le lleguen las pelotas de riesgo a nuestro portero. Así que por ese lado creo que contento porque hicimos las cosas bien. En general, todo el equipo aportó su grano de arena porque por ahí no llegaron al arco pelota clara, pero también influye mucho porque el arquero de atrás siempre nos habla, nos organiza, entonces eso es fundamental para siempre estar atento con los delanteros.
The team was always very paying attention during the whole game, and it is important that the defense plays its role, but also the midfield. So the balls don't arrive into our area and they don't actually reach out into the keeper. So all the team actually play a role and play an effort into actually having the balls again not arriving into our goalkeeper, and even our goalkeeper was always talking to the defense and getting us organized. So it's a completely team effort.
Again, guys, please use the hand raise function if you'd like to ask a question. Only see a few in the queue, but Ari, why don't you go next?
Hey guys, congrats on the win. My question's for Steph. Steph, so something Christian talked about at the end of last year was something he wants to see from the team going forward into this season was competing for a supporters shield. And as it stands right now, you guys are right in the mix. Is that something you guys are thinking about at all internally, or is that more something you think about like when it gets more right down to crunch time?
It's an opportunity. It's a goal. It's something that's very difficult to achieve in any season, even this strange year during this pandemic. So these are opportunities. You know, you want to. I think I told the team before the game started that one thing that's been a strength for this squad and this organization throughout has been staying even keel. But the good thing and maybe even the difficult thing is to stay even keel at a high level, right? And so but that's what's going to allow you to really go for trophies, whether it's you know, in playoffs, going and making the push for the MLS Cup, or the one where you have to be pretty darn good throughout the whole year in Supporter Shield to try to, you know, cap off a very, very good year throughout. So it's certainly an opportunity. We're there. We're seeing that we're in, you know, in the picture to fight for that. And then regardless, you know, it goes hand in hand. If you're going to end up in the front, then it's going to put you in good seating for the playoffs. So we got to do our best in every game we can, get those points, keep chucking away.
Jada Evans.
Thanks. I wanted to ask for both of y'all, or I guess for Steph, as far as Nuhu's own goal, does that just chalk up to an error, or because you were talking about the defense, or at least Yeimar was talking about the defense playing well tonight, or defensively?
I'll take it first before you translate, I guess. You know, mistakes that do happen, and on that play, I mean, there's multiple things I think we're going to look at that one. You know, the obvious one is that, you know, the clearance goes on frame and I can't make the save and it goes into the back of the net. But you know, we're going to look at positioning. We're going to look at whether we can actually eliminate that cross to begin with. all kind of things that maybe we had multiple players that could have done a tiny bit better to eliminate that situation at that own goal. So it's always difficult because Nuhu is the one that carries that own goal, but I think that's a collective error. And thankfully today it didn't matter too much. Seems like I can't buy a shutout these days, but I'm thankful that we're able to get the 3 points. And Nuhu had a good game. Like I said, mistakes happen, and we'll look at the things that we could have done to help him as a squad, but it's a non-issue.
Yeimar, la pregunta fue, ¿cuál es tu opinión acerca del autogol que sucedió durante el partido con Nuhu? Desde el punto de vista de si fueron errores de defensa, en base a tu comentario anterior en donde dijiste que la defensa jugó bien.
Nada, lastimosamente nosotros los defensores, bueno, a veces tenemos ese riesgo. Yo creo que no es error defensivo porque es una jugada muy rápida. Y bueno, mi compañero con el afán de querer sacarla, por ahí no pateó como quería, pero bueno, son errores que aunque hay dentro del fútbol y nada, lo importante es que ganamos y bueno, me tocó a mí el partido pasado cuando un jugador de ellos pateó y yo por querer sacarla también medio que se la acomodé ahí la ayudé para que fuera gol, así que nada, son errores que estamos nosotros los defensores siempre que pueden pasar.
Yes, sadly, it's a risk that all defenders have to be aware of. I don't believe it was a completely defensive error. It was more like in the hurry for trying to clean the ball out. The kick went out wrong and it went out in. The important thing is at the end we actually won. But it always happens to all of us defenders. I mean, in my case, it took me a couple of games ago. It was I had a chance where I actually helped out for the other team to score a goal. So we all have that type of risk. The important thing is that the defensive played well overall, and then we were actually able to achieve the win.
If I can follow up, or not really follow up, but I wanted to ask Yeimar, was that rock, paper, scissors that you were playing with Nico after your goal?
Yeimar, la pregunta era si es que lo que estaban jugando con Nico después de la celebración después del gol era papel, piedra, tijera.
No. Es un poco confuso porque, bueno, siempre cuando venimos a entrenar acá al estadio y a los partidos siempre venimos charlando con Nico. Y bueno, la idea era que si él hacía un gol o yo, bailar, o si no, jugar a las cartas. Es un juego muy conocido en Argentina, también en Uruguay, que se llama el Uno. Entonces estábamos jugando el Uno.
It was a little bit confusing because we always talk with Nico before the game, and while we were chatting earlier, actually before coming over here, we were saying that if we would score, we would try to do either two things, either dancing, which we did, or actually playing Uno, the card game. So that was an attempt to actually show that we were playing Uno there. It's a popular game, card game in Argentina and in Colombia. So that's why we picked up that one.
Thank you.
Masvira.
Matt, this one is for Steph. Steph, just the depth of the team overall, obviously missing Raul Rialdez and then Svensson. But going to the defense, you guys, what does it say about the depth of your team when you're able to bring in Roman Torres and Brad Smith late in a game and still play well?
Yeah, great. And also, all credit to Shane as well, who had to start today. It's gonna, I think we've seen throughout the years that if you're gonna want to be successful, or then you need to have more players than 11 players. So I think so far we've had guys be able to slot in here and there when we needed to make some changes, and then like you said, when you can bring in some guys who are difference makers in the 70th, 80th minute. Brad Smith brings a heck of a lot of pace. Roman Torres, obviously a monster and lots of experience. So these are all good little how should I just parts that you want to have as options, right? Do we need to steady? Do we need to get bring in an anchor, bring in Roman. Do we need some pace? Great, we have that option. Do we need, Will today with the start? Someone who can hold up the ball, can challenge, can give us a different layer there. That's huge, and that's going to help us push for trophies this year, I think.
Thanks.
I think we got time for one more. So Felipe, why don't you go ahead and close us out?
Sure. La pregunta es para Neymar. Neymar, ¿cuáles son tus impresiones del partido rápidamente? Estamos en vivo para el Rey 360 Radio aquí en Seattle. Y también, ¿qué te pareció el partido? Fue un partido difícil, la primera parte un poco complicada, la segunda parte la frustración del entrenador.
Yeimar, what was your impression of the game today? And also, what do you think about the game overall? The first half was a little complicated and difficult, and then in the second part we saw the coach getting anxious about the game.
Yo creo que el primer tiempo por ahí no tuvimos la llegada que queríamos, pero bueno, creo que después el entretiempo el técnico pudo charlar y nos pudo dar un par de indicaciones, y después, bueno, creo que supimos encontrar los espacios y los movimientos que necesitábamos para llegar al gol, y nada, yo creo que en línea general fue un partido bastante trabado por momentos, y a su vez también se jugó, así que estamos contentos porque el equipo viene de menos a más, y eso es importante para lo que resta de campeonato.
Gracias, Yeimar.
So it was a difficult game during the first half. We didn't have the opportunities that we wanted, or as many opportunities as we wanted. For the second half, the coach during the halftime gave us instructions on how to improve and how to modify our game. So I think that paid off during the second half. But in general, it was a very difficult match. The good thing is that we're improving. We're improving from game to game, from one game to the next game, playing better and better, and that's something that is great for these last phases of the tournament.